Men think they know women, but the truth is far darker, more subtle, and more dangerous than most will ever admit. Tonight, I want to take you into the shadows of psychology, where instinct collides with illusion, and where the truths you discover may never let you see women or yourself the same way again. This isn't about hate. This isn't about blame. This is about clarity, because clarity is power. The story. There was once a man. He was strong, ambitious, and full of dreams. He wanted to achieve great things in life, and he carried inside him the fire of determination. Then one day he met a woman. She was not just anyone. She looked at him with eyes that made him feel like he was the center of her world. She admired him, trusted him, and believed in him. In those early days, life felt like a dream. Every word she spoke to him, every smile she gave lifted his spirit higher. He felt powerful, unstoppable, as if nothing could bring him down. Her love and admiration became his strength. He felt like a king, standing tall on a shining pedestal. But time has a way of changing things. Slowly, almost silently, the warmth he felt began to fade. The deep admiration in her eyes grew weaker. Where once there was endless attention, now there was silence. Where once he found joy and closeness, now there was distance. Veman, confused and hurt, wondered what had gone wrong. Had he changed? Had she? He looked for answers, but found only emptiness. The pedestal he once stood on now felt unstable, shaking under his feet. The woman who had once seen him ash a whole world now looked away. And the connection that once gave him strength left him feeling small and powerless. This story is not about one man alone. It is the story of many men across the world and across time. They rise with dreams. They shine with love. And then they face the painful silence when admiration fades. It is not because women are cruel or unkind. It is not because they set out to hurt. It is because life itself is merciless. Human nature shifts. Feelings change, and what once seemed eternal often proves temporary. Love gives wings, but it can also break them. And so the man learns strength cannot depend only on admiration. Dreams must survive even when the cheers are gone. Because in the end, the world is not always gentle and nature does not always protect the heart. The dark truth. Here is a truth that many men find hard to accept. A woman does not truly fall in love with who you are as a person. She falls in love with the way you make her feel when she is with you. Her heart responds not to your name, your history, or even your promises, but to the emotions you bring alive inside her. And those emotions, my brother, are not permanent. They are not solid like stone. They are like water, always moving, always changing with time and with circumstances. This means her loyalty is not directly to you. Her loyalty is to the feelings she experiences because of you. If you continue to make her feel excitement, security, and admiration, she will remain close. But the moment those feelings fade, when you stop living with the energy and presence that first captured her, the bond begins to weaken. This is the part most men do not want to face. They believe love is unconditional, that once given it should last forever. But human nature does not work that way. Women by their very design are tuned for survival. Deep within, they are always searching for security, stability, and the strength of a man who can lead with clarity. Not with anger or force, but with direction, purpose, and calm confidence. When she feels this strength in you, she feels safe. She feels alive. She feels drawn to you. But when she begins to sense weakness, doubt, hesitation, or a man stuck without growth, her instincts speak to her. They whisper, "This man can no longer protect me, guide me, or lead me." That is when the distance begins. Not because she is cruel, not because she lies, but because her nature urges her to seek what she needs most. The dark truth is this. Love is deeply tied to survival and emotion. If you want her heart, you must understand this reality and live with purpose, strength, and direction. Always the mirror. Listen closely. This is not really about women. This is about you. Women act like a mirror. They reflect the strength or weakness that lives inside you. If you are unstable, uncertain, or lost, she will feel it in her heart. She will reflect it back to you in her actions, her words, and her distance. But if you are calm, steady, and rooted in purpose, if you know where you are going and why, she will feel safe in that presence. She will naturally orbit around your strength, just like planets orbit the sun. The mistake many men make is this. They confuse attachment with leadership. They think keeping her close is the same as guiding with direction. They confuse comfort with true connection. But comfort without growth is dangerous. It makes men lazy. And in that laziness, in that false safety, they begin to decay. Here is the dark truth. A woman will never love you in the way you secretly dream of being loved deeply, endlessly, without question. Unless you first become the man you fear you cannot be. Only when you rise into your fullest strength, discipline, and purpose does her love truly take root, the illusion of permanence. Many men hold on to a comforting belief that love lasts forever. They think that once a woman chooses them, she will stay by their side no matter what. But this is not the truth. The idea of love being permanent is only an illusion. Feelings are never fixed. Emotions change like the seasons. Winter always turns into spring, spring into summer, and summer into autumn. In the same way, passion also changes over time. What once felt like a burning fire can slowly cool down if you stop paying attention, if you stop growing, if you stop moving forward. The hard truth is this: no woman stays only because of a promise, or wedding ring, or the memory of the love you once shared. These things may matter, but they are not enough to keep her heart alive. She stays when the present moment feels exciting and real. She stays when being with you gives her energy, when your presence inspires her, when your actions make her feel safe, loved, and desired. A man who forgets this truth often wakes up one day shocked. He looks at the woman beside him and feels she has become a stranger. He asks himself, where did the warmth go? Why has the passion disappeared? When did the fire die out? He does not realize that love faded because he stopped creating it every day. Love is not guaranteed. It is not something you can lock in a box and expect to stay the same forever. It is not carved in stone. Love is alive, and like all living things, it needs care. It must be renewed and earned every single day. How is it earned? Through strength. By standing firm in your values, through purpose, by moving forward with direction in your life, and through presence, by giving your full attention to her and to the relationship. A woman does not stay because of the past. She stays because the present with you still feels like a place where her heart wants to be. The test. There is a truth that most men never truly realize. Every woman will test you. She does not do this out of hatred or cruelty. She does not sit and plan ways to break you. No, she tests you because it is built into her nature. It is instinct. It is how she learns whether the man she is with can truly stand strong in the world. She will push your boundaries. She will challenge your certainty. She will question your direction. At times it may feel unfair. At times it may feel like she is against you, but in reality, she is searching for something deeper. Why does she do this? Because she must feel the strength of your frame. She must know beyond doubt that the man in front of her is not made of fragile glass that can break at the slightest touch. She wants to see that you are steel, unshaken, solid, and dependable. Her instincts demand this because only then does she feel safe. Only then does she feel she can trust you fully. And yet this is where many men fail. When tested, they become defensive. They argue endlessly. They beg or plead for her approval. Or worse, they collapse completely, losing their calm and showing insecurity. In doing so, they reveal that their confidence was only a mask. And once that mask is broken, her respect disappears with it. But here is the truth most men never learn. Every test is not an attack. Every test is an invitation. It is an invitation to show your strength without anger, to stay calm when the pressure rises, to hold your composure in the storm, to lead not by loud words, but by steady presence. When you understand this, her tests no longer scare you. Instead, they remind you of who you must be. A man rooted in purpose, unshaken by storms, and worthy of respect. The dance of power. A relationship is never still. It is not something frozen like a stone that never moves. A relationship is alive, it grows, it shifts. It changes, it rises, it falls, it flows. Think of it not as a straight line, but as a dance of power, of energy, and of influence between two people. Many men do not understand this dance. Some believe that if they can control everything, every word spoken, every choice made, every step taken, they will never lose. But this is a mistake. The man who tries to grip too tightly ends up losing the very thing he wanted to hold on to. The more he pushes, the weaker he looks. Control does not build love. Control kills love. It smothers it until nothing is left. On the other side, there are men who make the opposite mistake. They avoid responsibility. They step back thinking life, or the woman will carry the weight for them. They imagine that if they let go, peace will come. But instead of peace, they find pressure. The very burden they refuse to carry does not disappear. It grows heavier. It presses down harder until they are crushed by it. Then there is a third kind of man, a rare kind, a man who understands distance. He does not lead with fear or force or anger. He does not shout to be noticed or demand to be obeyed. Instead, he leads with certainty. He stands steady in who he is and where he is going. His calmness becomes his strength. His silence speaks louder than the noise of weaker men. This kind of man becomes irreplaceable. Women are not drawn to men who try to dominate them. Real attraction is never about control. Women are drawn to men who cannot be dominated by life itself. A man who faces problems with calmness. A man who stays centered when storms come. A man who holds steady when the world shakes around him. That strength is magnetic. That strength is rare. This is why chasing rarely works. When a man runs after a woman desperately, he shows his emptiness. He shows that without her attention he feels small and lost. That kind of desperation weakens him and weakens the attraction. But when a man is rooted in his purpose, when his focus is on his growth, his vision, his mission, he creates a natural pull. He creates gravity and she feels it. She feels drawn to him without him saying a word. And here lies the great paradox of attraction. The more you need her, the less she needs you. But the less you need her, the more complete, steady, and fulfilled you are within yourself, the more she feels your value. Attraction, then, is not about clinging. It is not about begging for love or chasing approval. It is about standing tall in your own strength. It is about holding firm in your direction, calm in your presence, certain in your purpose. When you do this, she does not follow because you forced her. She chooses to follow because she cannot resist the natural pull of a man who stands strong in himself. That is the dance of power, the abyss within. Now let us go even deeper, because the darkest truth of all is not really about women. It is about you. Every fear you place on her shoulders, fear that she might leave you, fear that she might reject you, fear that she might betray you, does not truly come from her. These fears are born inside you from the abyss you carry within. She does not create your weakness. She does not plant your doubts. She does not invent your insecurities. All she does is reflect them. She is the mirror that shows you the cracks in your foundation, the shadows in your soul, the flaws you try to cover. Here is the truth. The man who refuses to face his own emptiness will always blame women for his pain. When she pulls away, he blames her. When she no longer admires him, he blames her. When she challenges him, he sees her as the problem. But deep down, it was never her. It was his own fear, his own weakness, his own unhealed abyss that shaped the outcome. But there is another kind of man, rare but real. The man who dares to descend into his own darkness. He does not run from it. He does not pretend it isn't there. Instead, he confronts it. He looks his fears in the eye. He acknowledges his shame. He admits his insecurity. And then, instead of letting these shadows control him, he chooses discipline. He chooses growth over excuses. Step by step, he builds himself stronger. When a man does this, something changes. He becomes unshakable. Life can throw storms at him, and still he stands. Challenges can press against him, and still he does not collapse. He no longer depends on constant validation from a woman or from the world, because his worth now comes from within. He knows who he is, and nothing can steal that from him. To a woman, this kind of man is rare. He is unforgettable. not because nothing ever touches him, but because he has already been tested by fire and survived. His strength is not a mask. It is forged from facing what most men run from. The abyss within you, then, is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. If you avoid it, it will control you. If you pretend it isn't there, it will quietly shape every fear, every failure, every broken relationship. But if you face it, if you master it, it will transform you. And once you conquer that abyss, once you rise from your own darkness with strength and clarity, no one, not even the woman you fear losing, can take your power away. The final revelation. Here is the truth. Stripped bare and without disguise, women are not the problem. They are not your enemy. They are not the cause of your weakness, your pain, or your fear. They are the mirror showing you who you truly are inside. They are the storm, the test, the force of nature that reveals whether your foundation is built on solid rock or fragile sand. A woman will never complete you. She will never save you. She will not carry you when you refuse to carry yourself. That is not her role, and it never was. The dark truth is this. Women are not here to place a crown on your head and call you king. They are here to test if you are worthy of being one. Every challenge, every question, every moment of doubt she throws at you is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to measure you, to see if you stand firm or if you collapse under pressure. And once you truly understand this, your perspective changes. You stop asking childish questions like, how do I keep her? How do I make sure she stays? You begin asking the only question that truly matters. How do I keep building myself? Because the truth is simple. When you focus on becoming a man of vision, of strength, of calm authority, something powerful happens. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop depending on her admiration to feel alive. Instead, you live with purpose, and she feels it. When you are a man who moves with direction, who does not shake in the face of storms, who carries both discipline and clarity, women do not want to leave. They cannot. They orbit, they gravitate, they submit, not because you demanded it, not because you forced it, but because nature itself cannot resist gravity. A steady sun does not beg planets to revolve around it. Its very existence, its power, its unshaken presence makes it the center. This is the final revelation. A woman's role in your life is not to give you strength, but to reveal whether you have built it. She will test you, push you, reflect you, and challenge you. If you crumble, you blame her. But if you rise, you thank her. For she showed you the man you must become. And when you do become that man, rooted, clear, and unmovable, you realize something. You never had to worry about keeping her. The question was always about keeping yourself, because the man who leads himself with power and stillness never fears losing anyone. The mentor's lesson. So what is the lesson in all of this? What truth should you carry forward? It is simple. Do not look for your worth in her eyes. Do not let her admiration or her lack of it decide how strong you feel inside. If you depend on her validation to feel like a man, you will always remain fragile, always chasing approval that slips through your fingers. And do not crumble when her emotions rise and fall like the tide. A woman's feelings are not fixed. They shift with time, with circumstance, with her own inner storms. One moment she may admire you, the next she may challenge you. If every change in her mood shakes you, then you're like a leaf in the wind, powerless, directionless, carried wherever the storm blows. Instead, become the mountain. The mountain does not move because of the storm. It does not rise and fall with the tide. It simply stands silent, unshaken, firm in its presence. A mountain does not need to shout to command respect. Its power comes from its stillness, from its depth, from its immovable strength. This is what a man must become. Not loud, not desperate, but steady, rooted, and complete within himself. And here is another truth. A man who sees women clearly, who knows they are neither angels sent to save him nor villains sent to destroy him, but simply human beings moved by instinct, is a man who cannot be deceived. He no longer clings to illusions. He no longer paints her as perfect, nor blames her Asaville. He accepts reality as it is. And when you cannot be deceived, you cannot be broken. For the man who knows himself, who no longer depends on fleeting emotions, who stands as steady as the mountain, becomes untouchable. He is not afraid of loss because he does not lose himself. He is not afraid of rejection because he has already accepted himself. He is not afraid of betrayal because his worth does not rest in anyone else's loyalty. This is the mentor's lesson. Build yourself until your presence is enough. Live with vision, with purpose, with calm authority. Let storms come. Let tides shift. Let tests appear. You remain the same. And when you reach that place, you discover something powerful. Respect is no longer something you chase. It is something you naturally command. Know that you see the truth. The question is simple. Will you continue to chase illusions? Or will you rise, build yourself into a man of gravity, and let the world orbit you? If this message struck a chord within you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments below, tell me the hardest truth about women you've ever faced, because clarity may hurt, but only clarity sets you free.